Jewelry.
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 Jewelry. Jewelry. Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Jewelry. Every single piece that is used in jewelry has to come from the earth. And is it extracted from the earth wisely, or is it done haphazardly with no thought to mankind and what is happening to each of us in this world? Radical Jewelry Makeover has opened a whole new world for me in looking at jewelry from a different perspective. The community comes together to gather their jewelry to give to this new venture. It really is about using what we already have.
Radical Jewelry Makeover is a community art project that educates people about mining issues, material sources, and ways that artists can make their work more responsibly.
By focusing on jewelry, a medium that is very public, yet intimate to each one of us, RJM introduces people to controversial issues in a non-confrontational way. Metal mining is the #1 toxic polluter in the United States, and 80% of the gold that is mined internationally is turned into jewelry.
If you think about it that way, jewelry is quite a burden to wear. Up to this point, there have been 4 makeovers. Richmond, Virginia, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, San Francisco, California, and Penland, North Carolina. And each time the host community is invited to mine their jewelry boxes and donate. On average, they extract about 100 pounds of jewelry for each makeover.
The donated load is then separated and organized based on its materials, personal stories, sometimes humorous categories. And once we've processed the raw materials, we begin manufacturing. There are primarily 2 types that are donated. And as makers, the first kind of material, gold and silver, is pretty easy to reuse. In fact, it's an essential part of the technical vocabulary of any working jeweler, and it has been for centuries.
Yeah, and the second type of jewelry donation is costume jewelry, which is comprised of low melting plated metal, plastic, shell, wood, and beads. And at the end of the fashion season, or when that plating wears off, or when that glue joint breaks, that stuff is destined for the landfill.
Both of these types of jewelry are a problem because they are about overproduction and the need to get more material from the mine.
Radical Jewelry Makeover is an opportunity to step back and think about where materials come from and how jewelry is made. Ethical Metalsmith's mission is to connect people with responsibly sourced materials.
The No Dirty Gold campaign estimates that large open pit mines can generate 76 tons of waste for every ounce of gold. Radical Jewelry Makeover circumvents the mine by asking people to donate what they already have and put their unwanted, unworn, unused excess material back into production.
When you're forced to use recycled materials, you're starting from square one with the pouring of the ingots, and you have to roll that out, and so you learn how to become a better maker.
After this class, I saw the potential of really recycling the materials that we already have that are out there, and I feel like gradually, if we keep doing this, we can make a change.
When you have objects that have a history, and when you collect the story and you take all that into account, your ability to make something that, as a not just as jewelry, but as a cultural product, as a document, and as something that can speak and affect people, I think increases exponentially.
Went through my drawers, looked at all my special things, and especially focused on jewelry that I had that belonged to my mother. When I was a little girl, my favorite thing to do was watch her get dressed. My dad went away for trips often, and whenever he came back, he brought her some very special piece of jewelry. And it always glittered, it was always large. She was a very I Love Lucy mom. And Saturday nights, whenever they'd get dressed to go out, I got to sit and watch her put on the girdle, the bra, and then she'd let me pick out the jewelry that she would wear that night. And I always went for the biggest, glitteriest diamonds that she had. So that's what I brought, because I was hoping that someone could do something fun with them.
Radical Jewelry Makeover. It's for taking old materials and redoing them and making them over in a way that people want to purchase them again and wear them and love them. And it's a wonderful way of recycling and giving new life to things that have been discarded, which I think is very interesting.
First of all, I donated a lot of junk. It was fun junk, though, in its time. But I did select a piece from my grandmother that my grandfather had given as a 50th wedding anniversary, which was a lovely little gold pin with pearls. So the pin is now in the hands of the jewelry makers. That will be transformed into another state, but still the essence of the pin will be there. Everything can become something new and different, but still a part of its origination. The original birth is still there, but it will be rebirthed, and rebirth, if Radical Jewelry Makeover continues,
One of the things that I thought I'd donate was a mother of pearl medallion that my husband had given me. I put everything in a brown bag and I gave it to my son. He dropped it in the donation box. Come Christmas, I opened this box and I saw the medallion that I had donated back in a much more attractive and I think wearable form. But I was really surprised. He didn't realize that he had bought the same thing I had donated that his father had bought once before for me. I think I was meant to have it.
Before I got into the RJM, I had no idea really or gave any thought process to where my materials are coming from. And to really think, this is the dent I'm putting on in the world. I'm making pieces that will be here. I need to make conscious decisions of how much material I'm using, where is it coming from, how do I want to use it.
Much to my surprise, Radical Jewelry Makeover provided access to a story that tied in perfectly with the gallstone at the center of the pendant, which I had been carrying around in my pocket for a month. Combined with gold, which I never had the chance to work with either, this piece about the beauty of irritation emerged. I enjoyed seeing how other people dealt with the same challenge. Some treated the donations conceptually as I did, and others treated the donations as raw material. Some really liked plastics, and some deconstructed existing objects.
We have created a simplified local supply chain and microeconomy that mimics the mining and manufacturing industries. By doing this, we have been able to link the specific act of buying or making a ring to the earth, the mine, and all the way to the store.
Students make jewelry and select their materials based on the design and not on monetary value. Donor stories and the curious trinkets are often more interesting than the gold and silver. For instance, Matt Jackson's tornado ring was cast from a donated wedding band.
RJM is a teaching strategy that creates a hierarchy of techniques which explore the best material uses today in anticipation of the future.
After making, we price the work and mount the exhibition. We want the work to go out into the world and tell its story. Therefore, we price it accordingly, and donors receive a coupon which they can apply toward the purchase of a new piece.
For us, this is the magic moment. Not only is it the culmination of the project, but it also closes the loop and brings together the whole community that participated.
Radical Jewelry Makeover is not trying to say to each of us, you may never go into the jewelry store or into the art gallery and purchase again. It is simply trying to say, let's change our paradigms. Let's step out of the box. Can we be joined hand in hand as a community to service our world and make it a healthier and safer place in which we may exist and continue to wear and own beautiful things?
Isn't that our goal as makers, is to make the best possible ring? Does the best possible ring stop at the end of your bench?
Do you have any tips or recommendations for where RJM could go?
I just think it's so exciting because it's so new and it can go anywhere.
Did Radical Jewelry Makeover increase your awareness of mining?
Yes.
What did you donate?
A mixture of my jewelry and my mother's jewelry.
What did you make in Radical Jewelry Makeover?
I made a bracelet out of gold hoops.
So what happens behind the scenes?
As sorters, you get just bags and bags. Ooh, you just want to get your hands into it.
Is Radical Jewelry Makeover saying that we should stop buying and consuming jewelry?
Hope not.
That kind of leads up to the last question. How did you hear about Radical Jewelry Makeover?
The project celebrates generosity, and at the end of each one, students are ready to take what they have learned, give something back, enabling the project to continue on to its next host community.
All this stuff came out of Liz Tilt, all out of her box. It's pretty nice.